Welcome to EIPIP Meeting 76. I've shared agenda in chat. We have a few open issues and peers to discuss. And there would be discussion continued from the past meeting. I think one of the candidates started looking into EIPW bot issues, so we'll discuss that and few other updates. So starting with the item number 1, which is discuss open issues, PRs, and other topic. So last week we received a comment from a user named ABC, like these are the first 3 alphabets. I cannot read the full name, but you can follow the comment on the agenda here. So he is proposing to be an EIP editor, maybe an interim EIP editor who may be able to help out with the EIP number allocation. I remember we discussed in the past for having a bot for allocation of EIP number, but we are not there yet. So if editors may take a look at his proposal and let us know what do we think about it. I guess PandaPip went ahead and also created a pull request to update this request in EIP1 once there is a consensus of having him on board.
I don't think adding somebody just to assign EIP numbers is good. PandaPip has started working on a bot to updating the merge bot for that, so we'll see where that goes.
That sounds good. Matt, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I also do. Do you want to be an ERC editor or a full EIP editor?
So his proposal is like his offer is to offer my services as an EIP or ERC editor to help assign numbers quickly.
Do you have a problem assigning numbers necessarily?
Not really. It looks like he has intervened a few times. He also has added a link to comments where he left his thoughts while discussing the number for the EIP.
Yeah, I mean, if that's his only job is assigning numbers, I don't really think we need an editor to do that. He wants to review EIPs and ERCs. I mean, he has been involved for a pretty long time, so we could consider that, but it doesn't sound like it's what he was proposing.
I'm sorry, what is VID?
COVID.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so no, I mean, if I understand this correct, I don't think the proposal is to be reviewing all the proposals as of now, but only for the allocation part. So let me go back with the discussion here today. So if he tries to extend his proposal to maybe look into more onto ERCs and then probably it could be considered. Again, we will have to look into all the criteria that has been listed earlier to become an ERC editor. Is that fair summary of the discussion today? I'm on a
Sounds good.
yeah, thank you. Anyway, gonna add it at the like end of the meeting, like every past meetings. I have started writing summary down there, so we'll see what is the response. Panda mentioned that he would be joining a bit late, so if he has anything further to add about his PR, yeah, we can talk then. Moving on to the next item is a full spell check. So I remember it was discussed in Ethereum Cat Discord about the spelling error. Yeah, Matt, you mentioned, okay, not a problem. Matt mentioned that can we have a full spell check? I don't know if anyone would like to maybe talk about it and if anyone has any proposal.
I don't know, I get it's hard. I have full spell check set up for the execution APIs repository. And it just doesn't work perfectly. There's plenty of times where you have compound words that are words and it says that they're not, and then you have to manually add them, so it's not really ideal. But whatever we have right now is missing a lot of words. And so I would like to find something that's at least better.
Right. Jose, I'm not sure if you have any proposal for this. Like, would you be interested in working into it or looking into it?
Hello, happy day, Puya, first of all. Yes, well, I was just wondering if we can just work to make richer the dictionary for code spell, which is barely now 42,000 words, which is very small. I don't know, we can just take every IP proposal, go around, collect the spellings that are not into the misspelling words that are not included in the code spell, pull a request for, I don't know, every time that we collect, I would say 100 or 200 or 500 and propose a pull request to code spell to include that word. So in that way we can just, it's gonna take time, but I guess that in the midterm we will be covering all these basic misspelled words that are not included in the code spell. So it's a long way to go, but it's a proposal. I don't know if maybe we can. I was also thinking in include the library with at least 200,000 words into the EIP bot, and we create we create an action to check. That was considered, I mean, months ago, but the UA editors decide to go with the code spell, which is fine. But indeed, it's a very poor vocabulary what code spell has right now. So either we increment during the time the vocabulary, or we just add a new action to the EIP bot with the bigger vocabulary. That's what it is.
I'm not 100% sure, like going by each and every proposal and having like every word added in code spell. Like how long would that take? Do we have an automated solution for that?
From what I've seen on the Codespell repository, they generally merge PRs that just add new misspellings quite quickly. So if we want to if we have a PR that has a bunch of misspellings, just give it to me and I'll submit a PR that adds all of the misspellings to the Codespell repository, and then I'll submit a PR to the EIP's repository, updating it to the latest version of Codespell.
Okay. So what do people think about the current proposal? Like, so are we planning to have, like, a list of something? Okay, so there is this proposal to switch to something with a whitelist and use a specific extension for our words. Okay, yeah, if you would like to elaborate that, Sam. Maybe because, chat messages are generally not available to people who are listening to the call. Okay, not a problem. So it looks like it's noisy. So he's trying to avoid what Sam mentioned. It's like, it might be easier to switch to something with a whitelist and use a specific extension for our words. And he may have a couple of options as EIPW. So probably we can look into that. And the other proposal by PanaPip, I think, is to provide him the list and he would be merging it quickly. Okay, anyone has to add anything on this? I know we don't have a perfect solution right now, but there are quite a few options. We may want to give it a try and bring it back if needed. Okay, let's give it a try. Moving on to the next one is only check sibling headers for sameness. I find this PR requested by Matt for merged. I don't know what other editors think. The number is 6643. Looks like it requires other editors, your reviewers confirmation before the bot can merge it.
I mean, it looks fine for me. I'll Oh wait, no,
Okay.
the reason why that's there is because then the reason why that's not allowed is because otherwise you have duplicate ID tags in the HTML, which is an error according to the HTML spec. Like client, there is a reason why that check is there.
Okay, looks like because it is approved, it's auto merging right now.
Oh, oops. I guess we have it then. It's a minor thing. It browsers won't necessarily like smack you for it, but like it's generally a bad idea to have duplicate ID tags. And yeah, it is a Jekyll bug, but
Okay. So now that is merged, I hope there is no reason to revert it, unless you strongly feel about it, or anyone strongly feels about it.
I do not strongly feel about it.
Okay.
Although I would like to be able to use although I would like to be able to uniquely linked sections, which would not be possible if you have duplicate sections.
Fair enough. Okay, very well. This is now merged. So I think it's done deal. And we can move on to the next one, which is a discussion continued from the earlier meetings. So in the past meeting, we found a few proposals coming up from William N. Triken, an author who is suggesting to kind of provide some features or maybe improve the UI of present website. I see there are a couple of pull requests, but at the same time, we also had a look on the new proposed upgrade for the EIP website. I see the PR are still open for RSS feed and rewrite index. I wonder what people think about it and where we are on the updated version of the website pull request.
Are we discussing the adding of the RSS feeds, the adding of the filter page, or my rewrite?
Okay, so let's start with the your rewrite page, because I think that was discussed last, and then we can come back to RSS feed, which is 6579, and to the index, which is 6483.
So what's worth noting about my rewrite is that it actually does include both the addition of the filter page, although it's adding a new page, not actually overriding the index page here. And it also does add the RSS feeds. And it also adds Atom feeds alongside them.
I'm sorry, do we have a pull request for that? I mean, any PR number which can be looked into?
Yeah, I can pull that up.
Okay. And my next question would be like, do we have any issues with the present PR? Like why we could not merge that? Is there anything blocking us?
I'm pretty sure that Light Client objected to the fact that VPress is perhaps less known than Jekyll. However, I feel like it's still pretty well known, and right now we have 2 people that can actually read and maintain the new VPress website, and right now we have and right now we also have well, 1 person that can kind of read the Jekyll website, maybe 2 people that can kind of read the Jekyll website and make small changes to it. So in terms of actually being able to maintain it, this is an improvement, despite the fact that it's comparatively less well known.
Okay, so the core point here is to moving away from Jekyll, not to WordPress, but to the JavaScript format. Is that the correct understanding?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. In that case, like if any editor has thoughts on PR number 6518, which Gavin just shared, I have added that in agenda as well, like where we are and if people have thoughts, suggestion on having that merged.
Like, can't mind specifying any new objections you might have. You were the one that last objected.
I mean, I think the objection is still the same. I would rather focus on something that's extremely widely used. I would rather avoid using JavaScript and focusing on just having markdown files. I don't think that having more people being able to support this is necessarily a huge win, because I don't think that these things should be changing too much.
I agree that these things should not need changing much at all. Nonetheless, it is possible to change this and to customize it way more than the Jekyll website. This has support for, in fact, post-build hooks, has support for a lot of different hooks, and yeah.
A curious question here. So the PR that we have received earlier for like more RSS feed and rewrite index filters, were they affecting the current website, the current page that we have in any way? Like they were just improvement suggestions, weren't they?
Yes, but if we choose to do the website rewrite, then those do not need to be merged because the website rewrite contains both of them.
Right, but it could be working in the meantime, right? Unless there is any, issue in the
I think we
PR.
should
Yeah.
merge both of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I mean, like we can merge and in the meantime, we can discuss about this migration that we are talking about. It doesn't look like we have like a full agreement and everything is in place. So for the time being, that could be done. What do other people think? I mean, it's just my thought. What do other people think?
I haven't actually looked in depth into this PR, but it looks like it's switching it from like a plain static HTML page to like a JavaScript search. Is that correct?
Do you mean the new, sorry, do you mean 6518?
6483.
6483. Okay. I think, Gavin, you had a chance to look into this. I find
Yeah, that is my understanding of what it does. I don't like how it deletes all the existing all core EIC those ones, but I mean, having the filter is really nice.
My concern here is this going to hurt our Google ability, like since it's going to be hidden behind JavaScript now?
Yeah, you are right, it will. So at the very least, we should keep the all page.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah, we have to keep at least keep the all page. You are right there.
Okay, and I see that it is like with all other filters, except that all page. So if we keep the all page, this could work. Non-erc.xml. Okay. Do we think leaving a comment on this PR for author would make sense? Why I'm discussing
Already
this.
submitted a review, in fact.
Thank you. Why I'm discussing this is because I'm hoping that if we are allowing PRs to be coming up from community, we are encouraging people to come up with suggestion, and it would not be solely on the editors to like bring up changes and things like that. So while we are waiting for bringing a major overhaul, maybe we can allow minor pull requests which are coming from community to add some improvement to the present website. Okay, so this is done. And do we have any thoughts and comments on RSS feed? I think there is an open action for the proposer here. So I hear Sam here that giving permission to third-party link for email could be a concern, but I don't know, like it seems like that is something recommended or being used widely. Where are we on that? I understand the third-party link permission totally, but do we have strong feeling and we should not allow, or should we start this? Because I have found, okay, one argument I want to give in favor of allowing this is we have found that the protocol information that is now being disseminated with the email, and it's been very helpful for people to receiving notification for blog.ethereum.org. So if we can have RSS feed like this and we can start sending email notification, that could help more users to be aware of what's going on in the background.
Oh, for sure. It's just like I don't want to commit necessarily to supporting the service, so.
Do we have any other alternative? I don't know, maybe we can check with protocol team. I can check with team and all, like what kind of services they are using, if not this one. But generally speaking, are we open to that? Is the big question.
I would be open to using a third-party service to email RSS updates.
Right. It's not that I'm against every third-party service. I'm just against like if we want to pick one that we want to use and go with that, that's fine. But like, I don't think any of us have looked into this in depth, and I don't know if this is the one we want to go with.
That make a lot of sense. Okay. So I will try to check with the protocol team what kind of email services they are using right now, and will maybe check with the author itself if they have any, I mean, in this proposal, if he has any thought on implementing the one that is being already used for sending out Ethereum blog posts. But that's a
that'd be
very
great.
good suggestion. Yeah, that's a good suggestion here. Fair enough. To conclude, we could not make any decision on 6483. It will be discussed. Similarly, we do not have any consensus on 6579, just some next steps that we should be looking into it more in detail. And it looks like we do not have 6518 consensus as well, unless people are like, having more thoughts on merging it today.
Sorry, which PR are we on again?
Yours, 6518.
Ah,
To the best of
Well,
my
there are
understanding.
currently some merge conflicts. I'll just go ahead
Yeah.
and solve those.
Right. To the best of my understanding, we do not have a full consensus here right now. Maybe we can start collecting more thoughts and feedbacks and support for this to be merged. We'll try to change Lightline's mind and come back in 2 weeks for this PR, if that makes sense. Okay, moving ahead. So we already discussed moving away from Jekyll. That's basically discussing 6518. And the next one here is 5457, which is update 712, fix each sign type data definition. So in the last meeting, we discussed this, but we did not reach any consensus there, what to do. Like, should we keep it open? Should we like just close it because we don't want to change anything to this proposal? Yeah,
I would
want
like to restate my argument that since there is obviously an error here and that there is nothing that could feasibly implement both specifications, that choosing the one that is clearly correct is the right move.
So you may be in support of merging this pull request.
So I think the reason we didn't merge this is because of the authors.
Oh yeah, we're waiting on author approval. Should we just override author approval for this one?
And that is 5457.
That's right. Yep. I remember it now. The author wasn't reachable at the time. Okay. So could we have that tag enabled? I don't think the tag is enabled for authors here. Yeah, it's not labeled as waiting on author's review. So can any of the editor may manually add that label so author can also get notified?
The author should already have been notified and the label is already added by the bot.
I think you removed it.
Yeah, because I can see
2 weeks ago you removed it.
Really?
Yeah, PandaPip1 removed the A-review label 2 weeks ago.
Well, that was a mistake. Oops.
Yeah. Okay, not a problem. Okay, let's move on. So I don't intend to bring it back in the next meeting unless we see any improvement in that. I hope when we get author's approval, it could be merged. Yeah, we'll take it from there. Okay, I think this concluded all of the discussion from the past
wait,
meeting.
hold on. I know why I did that. It's because on that call, we came to a consensus that we would manually merge it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with merging this. And I'll do it right now if Matt doesn't object.
Yeah, if you guys are okay with merging it, then go ahead.
Very well. So this will be manually merged. Cool. Okay, now we can move on to the next item, which is EIPW bot issues. This item has been suggested by Jose. Jose, if you would like to provide an overview of what you are looking into it and if there is any progress on issue number 5 that is listed here.
Well, Sam is aware. I managed to do the CI. I'm gonna be testing the running. I'm gonna create a test case. I'm gonna be testing the running during this weekend. So I guess that I hope to have a final solution already tested by Monday or maybe Tuesday. That's pretty much for issue 5, the EIP BB button.
Thanks again for your help. It's been good.
Anytime, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and this pull request 66, is it the one coming for this issue?
Yep.
Number 5, yes. Yeah, I can see that. Thank you, Jose. Yeah, please keep us posted on whatever progress you are making on like issues. I see there are quite a number of open issues. So I hope that we can start taking on it one by one. And Sam, if there are any priority, like if you can define, then it would be best that Jose can work with you and look into the issues which are on higher priority side.
Sure, I can do that.
Thank you. Okay, moving ahead, we have EIPS Insight. I'm trying to open the website for some reason. It's yeah, finally it came up. So we have 2 proposals in final, 1 in last call, 1 in review, and 4 new proposals added this month. I know the website is not in perfect status till date. We did it last month, but for some reason now it's giving some error for last call and final EIPs. We'll try to fix it. But yeah, that's all the status as per date, like March 8th, we have 4 new proposal added in the EIP repository and 2 have been moved to the final status. Okay. The next one is the EIP editing office hour. Unfortunately, we could not have our meeting last Tuesday, that is yesterday, but we have added a pull request for authors who reached out to us for some kind of help or attention from editor, and those have been listed in the agenda for meeting number 13. I hope EIP editors may take a look whenever they get chance, and whatever will be open by next meeting, we'll try to have that added. So EIP authors, if you have any question, comment, concern related to your pull request that you have made and you're trying to understand something, maybe able to talk to EIP editors directly regarding your PR, please feel free to join the EIP editing office hour. That happens every other Tuesday. So it will be around 2 weeks from now at 1500 UTC. People living in United States, please make a note of this. There would be a DST saving ending. So the time would be changing. It would not be as per your clock, not 10. It would be 11 a.m. Yeah, it would be 11 a.m. EST zone. So yeah, the time would be changed for this meeting as well for EIPIP meeting, which is 1400 UTC right now, which is 9 a.m. on EST, and it would be 10 a.m. from the next meeting onward. I don't see any further item added in the agenda, so it looks like it's going to be a short meeting, and the next meeting is proposed on March 22nd at 1400 UTC. Anyone has anything to add, share? Yeah.
Did we remember to discuss adding what's his name? Andrew.
ABC. Yeah.
Andrew is an editor.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we did discuss briefly. What editors think here is like, if we would like to have on board, we would like to have editor on board for reviewing ERCs, not only just for the allocation of numbers. So we need to check with the ABC if he is open for reviewing as a reviewer.
He has indicated that he is.
Okay, so from the comment, it looked like he's more into supporting with the EIP number allocation.
Yes, he says, until it cannot be automated or numbers are sold, then I offer my services as an ERP or ERC editor to help assign numbers quickly.
Yeah. So if we are trying to understand the services offered, if it is for overall review of a proposal and not limited to assigning number, then that's seems like a good idea. So we might want to encourage him to maybe to have review the proposal as well.
Okay,
I thought the bot was just going to assign the numbers and be
the
done
bot
with it.
will be assigning the numbers.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a
Okay.
work in progress. That's a work in progress. I think Kevin is
Okay.
already working
Okay.
on bot, but for the meantime, yeah.
I keep seeing it surface again. I'm going, wait a minute. I thought this decision was already made.
Yeah, we are reaching there. So I think the pull request that has been created, which is 6575, may not be merged just yet. We will leave comment for user ABC, and if he's open to that, then probably we'll have to go through the checklist that we have for ERC editors, and we'll have him on board. So that makes sense. Anything else people would like to share or discuss for today's meeting?
Hi, sorry, I was late. Have we discussed anything, updates on the plan for introducing more peer reviewers?
Not really.
I know that Sam's is leading this effort, and yeah, I look forward to see what could we do to help out.
I still think that this is really related to the tags thing, and that we should try to implement both of these simultaneously.
Okay. So I remember mentioning this particular topic a few weeks ago, and we were discussing that the present list of peer reviewer is not very effective. We may have to come up with a new list of reviewers. And if anybody in the community is interested in helping us with reviewing EIPs, which are coming into repository, may please reach out to Sam. He will add it, add the user to the list, and we can continue having more reviewers added to this list so we can get other EIPs reviewed faster. But I wonder if, Victor, you may have any other suggestion, thought. I don't know, there was this meeting in Denver. If we have anything coming up from there, if you may have met people who would be willing to do that.
Yeah, I think generally there are a lot of interest that we just want to make sure that we do it right. We receive good passion from EIP authors that are interested in both continue to support this program with their authoring and potentially reviewing. And also, I gave a presentation of ERC Rep to invite sharing reference implementation in a more structural way, also get a lot of response. And I know that Sam was not there. I personally felt that having a good peer review program is great. And Sam said the current status of big list of peer reviewers has been clear. I'd love to kind of learn with Sam and see how can we kind of work out a pivot to bring on more success on that. But I'd love to hear other editors' opinion or kind of guidance on how that could be improved.
So my biggest complaint is that a lot of the people who have volunteered to do it don't actually leave any comments. So I feel kind of, I don't know, pointless in pinging them in the first place.
I see. Sam, can I kind of find some time to chat with you? I guess that not every editors are particularly interested in this topic, but I surely feel very, very passionate about the direction that you have shared. So can I kind of find time to chat with you, and then maybe we can
Yeah, of
just
course.
have some deeper our EIP with our outcome.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the way to go, but for quite a while, I've thought we need more peer review, especially on the ERC side, to take the load off. Because there's just too many of them. They cover way too wide a range of interests for any one editor to necessarily know about or
agree.
care about. But if there's some way, I think, for an ERC to come in and just as a matter of course, there needs to be a peer reviewer volunteering to help deal with that ERC on through the process.
Well, something like PandaPip's tags, I think, would be pretty useful for that, because then peer reviewers could like subscribe to the tags they're interested in and then get a notification. But that would require, either defining a list of categories or letting people be freeform, and that's kind of a problem.
I was thinking of basically being able to any five final EIPs whose authors all agree that their final EIP should be tagged can create a new tag. That's my idea. That number can also be tweaked if need be.
So we can have it based on status as well, right? Like on which status we think that adding peer reviewer would add value.
Review.
So maybe, yeah, review. Yeah.
Yeah.
Review and last call as well, like, right? So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, but like the problem is not everybody who reviews ERC, like a lot of ERC reviewers, like what I collected volunteers, would only review like a narrow slice, right? Like some of them are only interested in like NFTs specifically, or some of them are interested in like, the peer-to-peer layer of the networking stack. And it's like, all right, but we don't have any way to have granularity on that.
But that's the point. This could be one-on-one. You show up with an ERC and it's like, okay, find a peer reviewer.
Right, and that is the current approach, right? We tell authors to find peer reviewers themselves.
We could help.
Yeah.
And the rings are supposed to help, the mere magicians being out there, but I don't care so much about a tag system, just a policy that says people need help on this. It's part of the process. I don't know how to make it a stronger part of the process, but it needs to meet. This is a pretty standard thing for professional journals to engage peer reviewers, and the same people don't have to review article after article after article. They get chosen to review particular articles that they have expertise in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we have a list of people that we can assign that way. I think I've shared the link around a few times, but they don't reply. That's the problem I've been having.
Yeah, well, if an ERC author can't find even one reviewer, then it would seem to indicate there's not a lot of community interest.
Yeah, I was feeling the same with Greg. I generally hop on a new draft proposal. And have you read the other ERCs for EIPs? And then like why they're different? Like, do you intend to collaborate or compete? If both are okay, and then if so, identify who you think might be the best peer reviewers. Just nominate them and see if you can get them to kind of give you comments. So that's what I have been doing, and I wonder if that is the good thing moving forward. I also want to bring up the one effort that I met James Smith from Ethereum Foundation on each damper, and he mentioned he had a effort trying to help EIP preserve archive history of discussions, and so I have tagged PandaPip's new websites, and so maybe we can invite him to kind of come back and kind of give us a sharing of what he has in mind and see how we. I generally feel that having preservation of discussion and of history more accessible also helps identifying peer reviewers and generating interest. Like on the ground, this is irrelevant to that topic. I think this is a good thing to facilitate a discussion.
So generally speaking, I think the idea of getting it reviewed is obviously needed. People are looking for that, but people who can be reached out should be from the group of authors who have already submitted it. So the list, I think, is going to be helpful, but instead of us pinging, it would be making more sense if they are getting notified by some process, maybe by the tag or something, and they can subscribe to certain things. And that would be way more effective. I don't know, Victor, if you would like to maybe, because I know you have contacted a lot of EIP authors, maybe discuss this further, and maybe in next meeting we can come up with something that can be shared with wider community, like how do we want to take it further. Until we reach there, I think we should be continuing with Sam's list and try to add more people, more authors who can act as reviewers for proposals coming up to Ethereum repository.
Sam, what's your take on publishing that list? Do you think it's worthy, or do you think it's a good idea to publish that list, or not a good idea?
If I could come in and say that I think that probably the list would be a bit better if the GitHub usernames were pinged every time that all of the reviewers' GitHub usernames were pinged every time there was a relevant PR. I bet that would get more feedback.
So I'd like to avoid that because I don't want them reviewing on the PRs.
Why not?
Well, we want the technical discussion on the discussions to thread and
yeah,
editing discussion on the PR. And since these are all technical reviews, it makes sense to what I would love is every time a PR is put up for an EIP to have a message posted in the discussion thread being like, there's been a PR for this. I think that'd be great. But
well, I think that probably a lot of these people check GitHub more often than
that's true.
magicians. So what if, hear me out, I stick the discussions to link in the actual EIP review bot comment.
So you'd say something like
requesting these people some random subset.
And then go review it on this link. That'd be okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But then we still need tags of some sort so we don't ping everybody who's like the entire ERC peer reviewer list.
In the meantime, I think I can do kind of a workaround by parsing the Jekyll tags, the Jekyll preamble, and saying like, oh, it's an NFT proposal if it requires 721 or 1,100.
No, like some heuristics, yeah. Yeah, okay, but let's talk about that a little bit more before you get like too in the weeds on it, but I think that's a reasonable idea.
I think it would make sense, Panda, if you can maybe create an issue on that, issue in the repository so people can also add their thoughts. This is a good idea. We would like to have notifications sent out for people who are really interested into it, not to all. So while you are working on it and maybe kind of developing the idea more concrete, if you create issue, that would be also a kind of community notification. Very well, thank you. So yeah, I think that is all for today's discussion. I know we have meeting for EUF in next 5 minutes. So any other final comment, question anyone has, we can take it today. Very well. Thank you so much for joining. I hope to see you all in 2 weeks at 1400 UTC. Have a good day, everyone.
See ya.
Thank you for organizing.
Yeah. Bye-bye.